recording?
Don't.
No. We're recording.
The fucking staging.
Oh, we'll talk about the staging in a moment. Just let me open in. We'll talk about the staging.
I hate the staging.
Okay.
I do.
Shut up. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Fuck you.
Okay. What is up, everybody? I'm hoping you're all well, and welcome to a new segment that I'm going to be doing on my channel with Kyle as a constant guest. We are going to essentially watch every main pay-per-view that WWE has to offer. We started this one with WWE's WrestleMania 35, and what an event it was, from the revival to Batista and Kurt Angle's last match with WWE to the first ever women's main event at WrestleMania. A hell of an event. However, Kyle had an issue straight off that he wanted to get off his chest, so I will hand over to Kyle.
Hi guys. So, the staging. The worst staging I've ever seen in my whole life of watching wrestling. I know back in WrestleMania 2000, that was the start of, well actually 2001 weren't it? So WrestleMania 17, that's when the staging was building and it set the scene of what the event's going to be. They went back to what they did in 2000, which was just a big ass TV screen, and it looked horrible, and I hated every single second it appeared on camera. So WWE, this is not around you, but get some imagination. I'm just, no.
Okay, now on to the more important stuff like the matches. WrestleMania 35, so we're going to talk about the pre-show, or the pre-show for WrestleMania 35. It seemed to have like two separate little pre-show bits.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep, kicking that off was the Cruiserweight Championship. In this match, Buddy Murphy was defending his championship against Tony Nese, and while I don't really follow the Cruiserweight division, I do, every time I watch the kickoff show with them on, I do really want to start watching it because they are very talented in-ring performers. They put on a good show. Granted, not all the audience were there, so they weren't really reacting in the way they probably should have done to that match, but it was a fairly decent match. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it as well. I'm the same as you. I don't watch the 205 live, but I do hear some good things about it, that it is like the rising stars of the cruiserweights, like getting their own show, granted, but at the same time it's too much for them. I don't want them to have their own show. I want them to be at least in and out of the main roster, so it gives them a shot not just on 205 Live, which not a lot of people watch. But the match itself, it did have some good moments. It did have, like, get you interested. But at the same time, though, it was just like a pre-show, and it did feel a bit lackluster. They tried giving the energy, but at the same time, it was just like a slow build-up. And the match was good, but I just wanted something else from it. But I don't know exactly what. But I wanted something from it to be like, oh, interesting more.
The second match was the Women's Battle Royal, and while a lot of Battle Royals are messy, this one was no different. It just appeared out of nowhere, essentially. A lot of women in the ring. I predicted who'd win, in that being Carmella, but it was okay for what it was. As a Battle Royal goes, it was okay.
It was just messy.
It's always messy, it's a Battle Royal.
I don't know, because with the majority of the wrestlers, it all came out at once. Granted, they want to get everybody out there and whatnot, but then there was like the odd 2 or 3 that got their own entrances, which I had no problem with, but the match itself was just so messy. Like, there were people in the corner doing their own thing and then non-existent in a way. Then there were people like the commentators were commentating on, and it just felt so messy for me, and I just couldn't get into it. That's the bad thing. That's the one thing I hate about these battle royals, is that it's so messy early on, and then it's like, what the hell is going on here? And then when you get to the final 3, then it's like, alright then, these got a big shot at it. And Sarah Logan looks like she was a strong contender to win it, and she did actually, but Carmella from underneath the ring just went, hey girl, and just throw her over, and it's like, But all in all, the Battle Royal, even though the trophy is ugly as all.
Oh yeah, the trophy was disgusting.
Oh, but no. But I'll give it a good ending-ish. But the match itself just completely messy, and I just did not like it. So the next match was the Raw Tag Team Championships,
featuring the Revival, as Michael Cole called them, against Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. I really enjoyed this match. It started off pretty slow, but as it went on, it definitely built up a bit more. It got a lot more energetic, and then the win, which was Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. Really good win. They definitely deserved it.
For anybody that does watch wrestling, Kurt Hawkins was on a 269 match losing streak, and It felt like with the story, because I only watched little snippets of beforehand, so I knew what the story was building up to. And then when it came to the event itself, I thought maybe there's a shot for them. We had our own predictions, didn't we? You went for the revival.
I thought the revival.
The revival.
We're gonna call them.
And then I thought, you know what, I'll give these guys a chance. So I went for Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder, and it turned out that the prediction was right.
It was.
And it was actually a good match. Actually, it was like it was a slow start, like you said, but then it actually got more interested. And it got like, ooh, maybe there's a chance that they could win. Either one could win, and it turned out that Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins did.
There we have the men's Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and again, while battle royals are very messy, there was a lot of them in the ring. Seemed to have a pretty good, got a good pace going.
Yeah.
It was very fast paced, but again, very messy, very all over the place. I can't remember who won.
Braun Strowman.
Braun Strowman won. Oh yeah, the SNL guys were in there, weren't they? And why were they there? I didn't like that at all.
I think with the reason why the Saturday Night Live guys were there, I think it was something Che and something Joss. That's all I know. I'm not interested in them because Saturday Night Live is an entertainment show. Those two, I do not know for the life of me why they were part of it. It is completely stupid. And as soon as the bell rang, they literally just got out of the ring, went under the ring for the good majority of the match. And then when it got down to the final three, that's when they decided, oh, maybe it's our chance. And then that was basically it. And again, with the Battle Royal, there were like 30 of them in one go. Just so messy. Everything was everywhere. You couldn't keep Paul got eliminated, he didn't. And at the same time, for me, the winner was pretty much the obvious choice, really. So, in a way, I'm glad that it finished quick, but at the same time, it was just completely messy, and I just did not like it. I don't like battle royals when you're just all thrown together and it's like, right, then throw yourselves over, and it's like, where's the story in that?
So when WrestleMania opened with Alexa Bliss being the host, and she invited out none other than Hulk Hogan, and, well, it's nothing really new. We do this a lot of WrestleMania. Yeah. It was interesting enough. I didn't hate it, I didn't like it, but, you know, it's just sort of there.
I think the whole purpose of that part was because Alexa was the host of WrestleMania, so she basically turned around and said, I can do what I want, like the surprises I can do. She snapped her fingers, and next thing you know, Hulk Hogan came out.
The crowd seemed to eat it up.
Yeah, the crowd ate it up, and, like, obviously it's Hulk Hogan, he is a legend himself, so I can't say it's a bad thing, but after I think just before that was the Pyro opening.
Which you didn't like?
Too slow, not enough, just nothing to get you the buzz going. Yes, I'm a techie guy, and I do look at the stage, and I do look at the pyros, I do look at the entrances of people, the opening, the stage, and just everything was just so bad. I don't want to hate it, but I am, and it's building. And you know, from everything, every time I saw it, you were just looking at me going, wow.
You commented on the stadium far too much.
I did, but at the same time, it's me. If it's something I don't like, I'm going to commentate on a lot just so it gets the message over that I hate it, and I'm not going to stop during this video.
Then next was the opening match, which was the WWE Universal Championship match. Kyle didn't like this was going to be the opening match at first. He thought it should be a little bit further down the line. However, the match itself started off as a huge squash match, and I genuinely shit myself. I thought this is it. Seth Rollins is going to lose. Brock Lesnar was going to retain. That wasn't the case. Seth Rollins jumped back in with 3 curb stomps to the beast and picked up the win. I loved this match. I thought it was great. It didn't lie about what it was going to be. It was essentially Brock Lesnar beating the living shit out of Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins coming back, keeping the beast strong while Seth walked away with the Universal Championship. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did admit that after Alexa did the opening with Hulk Hogan, Paul Heyman just like waddled out, like literally like a penguin. So he just went down to the ring and said, no, this is not happening. The Universal should be the main event. Good story build up. I did like that. But then at the same time, like you said, I felt like it was too early for it. It should be like the middle match, really. And then when Brock Lesnar came out for alright, then this is actually happening. Then Seth Rollins came out, and then that whole beatdown happened. Same as you. I was breaking it. I'm thinking, nah, this is not a good open. If this is the case, so if Brock absolutely squashing Seth and win and retaining, then I'm just gonna hate the match because you want the Royal Rumble winner to do actually something to Brock. Luckily enough, he bounced back, 3 curve stomps, Universal Champion. Shock and horror, really. I did not expect that, and I'm happy that actually did happen because then that's setting the night off for WrestleMania.
The next match was AJ Styles versus Randy Orton, and while they built this up in a sort of way, it's still going to be pretty exciting. They're both great in-ring competitors. It was evenly sided. I didn't really know who was going to win. It turned out that AJ did come out on top. Good match overall. Could have been a little bit better considering how good they are in-ring.
Yeah.
But for what it was a good match. It did its job. Fans seemed to like it. I enjoyed it.
I think with the match itself, it was not a quick start. It was like that, you know, that easy pace start. Yeah. Then it got really paced up, and then it just slowed down at the end. I don't know why the case is, but it just got like middle, fast, slow, and it's like, But the competitors themselves, Randy's been in the business for like 16 years.
16 years.
The shape he's in, but being like
he's 39.
Touching 40.
Yeah.
The shape he's in. I wish I could look like that, but nah. Sadly not. But the match itself, all good. It could have been a little bit better, but I can't complain.
And then we had a weird little segment where Lacey Evans came down and did her little walk, only this time she didn't walk down the ramp, she kind of just did like a back and forth at the top of the stage and then walked away. I don't know why we're doing this. If we're building up to something, I'd like to see it built up to maybe now, but at the moment it's a bit weird. Don't really like it as much as I like her music, and as weird as it is, and I like weird shit I find funny. It's getting annoying now.
Yeah. Same, it's like with the whole purpose of Lacey Evans. Yeah, she's beautiful. She's got that like classy look to her. Can't deny that, but the walk itself is literally looking you going, what the hell's this?
That then led into the Smackdown Tag Team Championships, where the Usos retained their championships, much to our surprise. We were convinced with the push that Ricochet and Aleister Black had been getting, with how talented they were, how much we genuinely thought they deserved this. They weren't pinned, so they remained strong, but the Usos did retain. I personally loved the match. It was a great match technically, from a technical standpoint. They all did a good job. The athleticism was outstanding, but the finish for me, I feel like Ricochet and Aleister Black should have walked away with it. But again, I wasn't disappointed with the match. It was a good match overall.
Yeah, same. I gotta agree with the Ricochet and Aleister Black. I've not watched NXT TakeOver, but I've watched like a clip at the end, and the amount of support they got from the audience after their match, literally shouting, "You deserve it." That felt for me as like they actually do, because as a tag team, they don't look like a tag team, like Sheamus and Cesaro. When they put them together, you're like, nah, it doesn't fit together. Maybe it does. I'll give it some chances. But all in all, they should have won it, because the amount of push they were getting, the amount of support they were getting, they easily deserve to be champions. But I think that's going to happen at the next pay-per-view, which if it does happen, I'll be very much happy.
Another thing we need to talk about in the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, which involving Sheamus and Cesaro, was the incredible Cesaro swing. My god, the guy would not stop. I lost count of him because they focused on Sheamus, who was just full on battering people over the ropes. Battered everyone over the ropes.
I think with Sheamus, he did the 10 beats of Barbarian, so he must have done that on about 4 people, so you're talking nearly a minute of Cesaro just going around in a circle.
And when Cesaro stopped, he didn't look like he was affected by it at all. The guy is a machine.
That's what gets me, because if you're spinning in a circle, you are feeling it straight away, but with Cesaro, it's just like, nah man, I'm good.
We then had a quick Hall of Fame flashback to show who the inductees were. They all came out, as they do every year, and as usual, it's always great seeing that. The magical moment it really is to be paying tribute to these legends.
What I liked as well, because D-Generation X, or DX, was the main inductees, thank you. But I did like the fact that when they were doing their own thing, throwing the glow sticks out, then there was a screenshot on the Titantron around the ring.
For China.
That, for me, is touching, because obviously China, yes, she has done what some people say is bad after...
questionable things.
Yeah, questionable things. But at the same time, people have got to look past what she did outside of the ring, because when she was inside the ring, in the Attitude Era, and is D-Generation X, she was peak. And I feel like she's got to get her own induction into the Hall of Fame very soon.
And then we had a match that I was very much looking forward to, Miz and Shane in a Falls Count Anywhere match. The feud had been built up really well in my opinion. I loved where the feud was going. I love that Shane turned heel. He's very good as a heel. I think this is also the best face run that the Miz has had. However, the ending of this movie was... Movie?
It's not a movie review, it's a WrestleMania review.
I'm so used to doing movie reviews. The ending of this match, it looked like Miz was going to take the victory. He was full on battering down on Shane. He did a suplex off of this scaffolding onto what had clearly been set up to make it safe, but onto something that was gonna hurt.
It was just a spot that they were by the scaffolding.
But by the way that they did it, Shane landed on top of Miz, got the pin outside the ring, and Shane won. And while I'm happy to see that this feud is going to continue, because it is definitely going to continue, I feel like it might end in the typical Shane McMahon last man standing match. The match overall, I loved it. There was a lot of heart to it. Really enjoyed it.
See, the thing about Shane is, as we know him, he puts his body on the line.
Yes, he does.
All credit to the guy. I take my hat off to him. The stuff that he does to his body, any normal man would actually get injured from, but yeah, he knows what he's doing. But like I said, with the finishing, we all expected Miz to win, but it's the momentum of the suplex and how it happened. It looked like Shane did land on top of him. That's just the way it is. And then when the ref started counting, we're thinking, right, come on Miz, move a little bit. But no, he just like laid on top of him. Well, more like back on.
It was the arm that was sort of like just over him like that. Yeah. And that was what was pinning him.
And then, yeah, it was a a really good match. Shane's strong at first, Miz got back and just basically took over from there, and then I think that's going to build up to something, like you said, like a one-on-one match to start the final run, and I hope with that match as well it's going to be really good.
Then we had the Women's Tag Team Championship, and I was actually looking forward to this match. While Nia Jax and Tamina and the Iconics weren't really there, I was looking forward to seeing Beth Phoenix in the ring again. They were great in the ring, I'm not going to lie, they didn't look like they'd missed a single beat.
I think with Beth Phoenix, it was her first match in like 5 years.
Yeah.
So she looked good as well.
She looked great. They didn't miss a beat. They seemed to do very well. They bounced off of each other really well. However, jokingly, very jokingly.
Yes. Talk about this joke. This guy here, was it during one of the entrances?
No, it wasn't. It was during the match. It was during the match. The Iconics crawled in to mess about and then got thrown out by, I think it was Beth Phoenix and Talia again.
Yeah.
I think. But I jokingly said, "Oh, what if the Iconics steal it?" Those were my words. What if they steal it? And we had a good chuckle. I was like, "Oh, that won't happen.
Yeah.
That won't happen."
Yep.
So at the end of this match, the Iconics stole it. And I was very disappointed.
Yeah, this guy here was basically shouting, "It was meant to be
It was a joke. I meant it as a joke." Yeah, I'm just not going to make any predictions like that anymore mid-match.
No.
It's like, oh, so-and-so's going to steal it because no man up, they fucking will.
Yeah, and they did as well, didn't they?
But the match overall wasn't bad. They seemed to do really well. There were a few moments here and there where they looked like they slipped up, but it was a good match overall. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I gotta give them credit to it. Like, I wanted Sasha and Bayley to win because Sasha, without sounding creepy, is my girl. I do like her. She is the top performer when she was rivalry with Charlotte. But I felt like, they're gonna lose because it's, they held the titles for 2 months, give or take. So it might have been like the chance to pass the torch on to somebody else, something like that. But I thought, right, I want them to win, but at the same time, with Beth and Natalya, the build-up they were getting, I thought they were gonna win. And then being WrestleMania, shocks happen. Iconics
Stole it.
yeah, basically from a Avalanche Glam Slam. Pushed Beth out of the way and it's like, right then, pin you. That's a surprise.
Next we have the WWE Championship. Personally, my most anticipated match of the night. Kofi Mania is running wild and we were all running with him. And after some very, very close calls, Kofi, after 11 years, is now the WWE Champion. And we were so happy that this happened.
I'm not gonna lie, I think you even looked at me and there were tears building up.
Oh, you were almost crying.
I was almost crying because I've seen it before in wrestlers where they have had this long build up and then when they become champion it's finally that relief. And Kofi being champion, he deserves it. 11 years. What more can you ask for?
Then we had another backstage bit with Alexa Bliss, who went back to talk to the SNL guys. Again, I don't remember their names, but we had some very special guests appear behind them, posing as their doctors, who were
Scott Hall and Kevin Nash.
You were so happy with
I was so happy. I mean, nostalgia trip or what? But Kevin Nash did kind of creep me out a little bit.
Kevin Nash had a very creepy looking look on his face, and not gonna lie, I found it very entertaining.
You do that normal like doctor with the glove thing, and it's like hello examine time thing. But the way Kevin Nash had his arm on his shoulder like that, and he was literally looking at him and going.
He looked like when the camera was cut out, he actually gave him a prostate exam.
Yeah. Basically, and that for me, I clocked it at the last minute, but even then I looked at him like, that's funny, but at the same time, I'm terrified.
Then we had the United States Championship, Samoa Joe defending against Rey Mysterio, and we had a squash match, essentially. It was very short, lasted maybe about 2-3 minutes.
Not even that.
With the entrances included, about 2-3 minutes. Yeah, Samoa Joe picked up the win. I didn't feel like this is the way we really should have treated Rey Mysterio. The guy's a good in-ring competitor. It's the only title he hasn't held, so I feel like he should have fought for it a bit more. Maybe it's building to something more, but I didn't like the match, unfortunately. It really let me down. I love Rey Mysterio. I adored Samoa Joe. The guy is incredible. The guy can do no wrong, really. But this match was not very good.
I was actually disappointed in this match. Really disappointed. For me, the worst match of the night. Because Rey Mysterio, he came back to the company for a reason. Whether to have a run with the main title or a Intercontinental / United States. And I thought, right, WrestleMania is his moment. Why not? Basically, as soon as the bell rang, Rey Mysterio got the upper hand a little bit. And then Samoa Joe just switched it around. And that's basically said, no, you can go away. That's it. I did not like it at all. The match was too quick. It didn't exactly build up something. I don't know if it's because of time, because obviously there are other matches to happen, but WWE, I'm really disappointed in that.
Then we had Reigns versus McIntyre. Roman Reigns came back after defeating leukemia for a second time. The guy got a massive pop. He started feuding with Drew McIntyre, and I was actually really looking forward to the feud. The match itself was pretty good. They're both pretty much powerhouses, so you're not expecting anything fully technical. It was a good enough job. They did a good enough job in the ring. Really enjoyed it. However, the fans seemed a bit mixed on Roman Reigns again, which I felt was a little bit weird. Don't know if they were distracted by something or anything like that, but they felt like they were behind him, considering he's just come back and got this massive pop, and so that let the match down just a little bit for me. But Roman Reigns picked up the win. It was okay. Can't really complain.
You can see by the reaction on my face that the fans ticks me off. Roman Reigns battled leukemia, one of the deadliest cancers known to man. Comes back after battling for 5 months. He's in remission. Great, no problem. The pop he got from the audience, Jesus Christ, oh my god. And then I don't know what happened after that. Obviously they were feuding with each other, Drew and Roman. And then when it came to the event itself, Roman got a pop at the entrance. The match was going on. They were back and forth a little bit. Then when it got to the final minute or two of the match,
literally the last part of the match.
Yeah, the final part of the match. I don't know if the fans were getting distracted by something or they were just not interested in the match, but they started booing Roman Reigns. And if they're gonna go back to what they were doing before, why? Because a guy survives something. Yes, he's a character, but at the same time, get behind him at least. And they were like boo, like when he was about to do the spear or the Superman punch or something, I can't remember what. I saw like a couple of guys in the front row literally putting the thumbs down and saying boo, and it's like, what is happening here?
Then we had the much anticipated Elias segment, and it started off really funny, as he does. I really enjoy Elias when he comes out. He does put on a good show. But then we had a surprise entrance from Dr. Thugonomics himself, John Cena, a flashback to 2002, I think it is. 2001, 2002 area.
No, he debuted in 2002, so more like end of 2002, 2003, I would say so.
Something like that then, yeah. But he came out, Dr. Thugonomics, spit a few rhymes at Elias. Hilarious, loved every minute of it, very entertaining.
Yeah, I think there were rumours as well before that The Undertaker would appear to do a segment with Elias, and I was expecting that, but at the same time, I would say I'm happy with it.
Then we had Batista versus Triple H, just a one match only. Triple H's career was on the line, and in that you kind of know the way the match is going to go. Triple H, of course, won. The match itself, two powerhouses going at each other again. Good from a certain standpoint. No holds barred as usual. Not the best match ever, but I enjoyed it.
It was very slow. You can tell that these guys are like in the mid-40s.
Yeah, you can.
And Batista's been out of the ring for 5 years, same as Triple H. Last time he was a full-time performer, about 5-6 years ago. You can tell that it was slow. It was stompy, it was lackluster, but I can give the guys credit for giving it a good try. But let's not mention what happened to Batista on his entrance.
When he ran in and tripped up, giving him the incredible name Trip Batista.
Yeah, sadly he got a bit hyped up, which he is the animal, so obviously he's going to build up. Runs up the steps, and then he goes into the ring. His back leg, so he went in with his leg in first, his back leg got caught on the ropes, well, just nudged it, and he just went almost face first into the mat, got himself back up, carried on as a true performer, as he is an actor and just a natural performer himself. But the match itself, it was blocky, it was slow, it did pick up near the end, but at the same time we knew that Triple H wasn't going to end his career like that. I don't know when he will end his career, but I hope it's against somebody that is the next star. But all in all, it was a good match. Slow, but it got really dark at the beginning, didn't it? It got really dark with what Triple H was doing to Batista by mangling his hands between the grips and also
pulling out his nose ring. Obviously he didn't actually pull out his nose ring, it was a double, but still.
Referee had a spare. But yeah, all in all, the match were good, and it was good.
It was great seeing him back in ring again. It was a nostalgia trip for sure. But let's get hashtag Trip Batista trending, please. Then we had another Alexa Bliss segment where she was selling Daniel Bryan as WWE Champion t-shirts with the B team. Supposed to be a dumb section, as if Daniel Bryan was supposed to win the WWE Championship. It was rather amusing. Then of course Ron Simmons comes out. Good, funny a little bit. I enjoyed that little bit, not gonna lie.
I didn't like the beginning bit when Ron came, but when you saw Ron come into the shot, you're thinking, oh, you know what's happening. That's when I start liking it.
And going back to your point of saying passing the torch onto someone, Triple H would pass the torch onto someone who he thinks deserves it when he does actually retire. We come to Kurt Angle's retirement match against Baron Corbin. Now I don't know why Kurt Angle chose Baron Corbin over everyone in the roster to pass the torch over, but I didn't buy into the feud. I don't really like Baron Corbin. The match was sort of okay. The match itself was okay. I can't fault the match in any way because obviously Kurt Angle,
mediocre for me.
Kurt Angle's getting on. He's not going to be as good as he used to be.
No.
So in that they do have to take some liberties with how fast they can move and what they can do. In that they had segments throughout Raw and everywhere where he was just beating down other opponents and winning. He had a good winning streak. So part of me's gone honestly building to him winning his match at WrestleMania, his final match in the WWE at WrestleMania, and he lost. lost and understands passing the torch, but I personally didn't think he should have handed it over to Baron Corbin. Didn't like it.
See, I know the story about where the story between those two, because when Kurt Angle was GM, Stephanie brought Baron in as he became the assistant to Stephanie, so whatever Kurt said or did had to go through him to go through Stephanie. Yeah, I can see that and then when Kurt Angle got relieved of his GM duties, then Baron got temporary general manager, something like that. So you can understand this feud starting there. Yes, Kurt Angle got a bit blocky again, same as Batista and Triple H, getting on a bit, but at the same time, he'd put something good in, connected with the Angle Slam, Baron kicked out. Alright then, let's anticipate the ending. Kurt Angle does the moonsault, Baron counters, does the end of days, game, didn't like it.
Then we have the Intercontinental Championship. Bobby Lashley takes on the Demon, Finn Balor, and while it's good to see the Demon in the ring, and Bobby Lashley is a good in-ring competitor, I can't deny it, the powerhouse, he is good in-ring.
Powerhouse-wise.
We haven't done much with him, but he's a good in-ring competitor. I do have to comment on the contacts he was wearing. It reminded me very much of the contacts out of the first Purge, so whether he was going to like purge the Demon or something like that, which would have been cool, but I don't think they've played off of that at all.
Nah.
Bit weird to have contacts in your eyes, mate. The match itself was really good. However, when it comes to the Demon, we rarely see the Demon, we only ever see him on special occasions.
When Finn goes into that mindset of this is like the end
when he feels like he needs the Demon to defeat a sort of obstacle that he can't defeat. However, the way the feud had been going, he's already defeated Bobby Lashley. He's defeated him multiple times, so I don't feel like the Demon was really necessary in this match. And why Finn Balor wins at the end of this, so why in the first place have Bobby Lashley beat him to take it off of him? If you're just going to give it back to him at WrestleMania, it made no sense to me. I didn't like it, although the match itself wasn't bad. It wasn't built up enough for me, and I don't feel like the Demon was deserved of this position.
It's going back to what they did to the IC title, where they were literally just like, here's a title, you keep it for about a month or two, pass on to that guy. You keep that for about a week or two, pass it to that guy.
Passing it around like a child.
It is
like children sharing a toy.
And what breaks my heart, because the IC title is an iconic title. WWE is prestige. IC title is literally next in line. It is iconic. The amount of legends, including WWE Hall of Famer Honky Tonk Man, who for me, the best heel of the generation, the best Intercontinental Champion of all time, but yet they're literally saying, right, the IC title is not that important anymore. It's got so much history in it. It deserves to be on somebody for a good amount of time. And this match, yes, the match was good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I love the Demon King. I love him to pieces. The atmosphere and the tension he brings when he's doing his entrances and the mannerisms and the way he moves his body. Beautiful. Enjoyed the match. Bobby Lashley looked like an idiot with the contacts. Demon King looked awesome. Want to see what's happening with Finn. I want him to keep the title for a bit longer now.
Then we had the final Alexa Bliss segment where she told us a false attendance record like they do every time, where they don't just count the audience, they count everyone who's in the building. You know, the same sort of stuff. WWE do it all the time. And then they had R-Truth and Carmella come out and do a weird little dance that went on for a bit too long in my opinion.
Yeah, the dance was supposed to be sort of 7 seconds. It went on for at least 10, not 10.
About 30 seconds.
Yeah, talking 30 seconds, and it's like the whole dance break thing happened in Mixed Match Challenge when R-Truth and Carmella were put together, and mid-match, because Mixed Match is like a little entertainment thing in a way, they decided to have a dance break in the middle of a match, and then for this, they decided, right, here's the attendance record of like 82,300 plus. False numbers, you're more like talking 79,000 at least. And then they go, right, dance break, 30 seconds later, it just blacks out. The Carmella, R-Truth, I love them to pieces, they're entertaining, but that part of the segment, not needed.
Then we had the first ever women's main event, the triple threat, winner takes all, Becky Lynch versus Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey, and this feud had been built up so well. I was so looking forward to this match. However, I really wanted Becky to win, and despite a slight botch at the end,
yes,
Becky did take the victory. She won the match. It was a great feel-good moment. The match itself had a few moments where they slipped, but was still very enjoyable. These guys clearly just wanted to beat the shit out of each other. We weren't at all bothered about being a technical match. They literally wanted to beat the living crap out of each other. They did just that. It was very entertaining in that sense. Although a bit of a botched ending, Becky still walks away with it.
I think with the botch ending, even me and you got confused of what just happened, because the way, obviously it's going to be over the internet now, so you can obviously check that on the internet, but when it came to it, we looked at each other going, wait, what? Is that how it actually ends? For me, the match was, from the audience, this is what I noticed from the audience, they were not interested in the match. It was quiet from the audience, and I don't know if that's because it's been a long night for them and the amount of ups and downs they've had, but
it didn't have the same grandiose as a main event should normally have, where fans are full on pumped, excited, getting behind the face while also booing the heels. It was one of those where, again, they gave a good performance, they all did fantastic in the ring, but the fans weren't behind it and giving it that energy that it probably needed.
The ending was very confusing. I'm interested in what they're going to see, because Ronda's going to, well, there's rumours about Ronda, what's happening with her, but they're going to do something for Money in the Bank, that's for sure, but it was hit and miss for the main event. Been building up for so long with the way Becky was building up herself. My God, the amount of momentum she got from the Royal Rumble. Jesus Christ. And then all that build up, all that anticipation, all that excitement. And when it came to the main event, the audience lost interest kind of thing. They were just like, what the hell's happening here? We're just too tired or whatever. The match rushed in parts. They need to slow it down, build the story up, get to the end, do whatever you need to do, and then finish whatever was planned. That for me then would have been the match of the night. The way that we've heard that they were counting, weren't we?
Yeah, but you can hear
it was Spanish
Charlotte and Becky were going
when they were
1,
doing the
2,
Spanish
3.
Yeah, they're doing the Spanish fly on the top rope, and you heard from cameras like, right, are you ready? Yeah, 1, 2. Did it, and it's like,
Now, I understand we want to do it safe, as every performer does want to do. You want to make sure that you're not going to actually injure yourself doing these moves, but when you can hear them actually communicating and talking to each other, which we notice quite a bit in other matches as well, just every now and then there are a few moments where we go, they're definitely communicating there.
Which you do as a wrestler.
Which you do, you want to make sure they're okay and that they can continue and all that, and if something has gone wrong, that you can work around it to think of something else to go. But when you can hear it as blatantly as that, it does take away the magic. I feel like because
that's what I mean about the magic.
We're the audience and we're supposed to, we know wrestling is fake, but we as watching it are supposed to believe, oh, this is all real, this is all kayfabe, they're all arguing with each other, they all generally hate each other. When you then see them go, okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3, then it takes away that sort of magic.
That's what I mean with the magic. It takes away that build up of the rivalry that they had. It takes away that part of the magic, and you just sit there going, right, they just communicate and that's it. Then it takes if that's the case, then it takes a very, very, very long time to get it back up in the middle of a match or beginning of a match or wherever in a match. It takes a very long to build back. But all in all, ending could have been smoother, could have been better, but the match was good. That's all I can say. It's good. Not great, but good. And that's heartbreaking to say.
For a main event.
For a main event. A first ever women's main event WrestleMania. Not... Can't say anymore, sadly.
Okay, so we're now going to choose our favourite matches of the night and just think about our thoughts again on those. Mine, again, I think you're going to agree with me, was Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan. Yeah. Just because of the heart and support that Kofi got. Loved every minute of the match. Yeah. He deserved the win. Well done, Kofi. Congratulations to you.
Same again. I got to agree with the Kofi Daniel Bryan because that match, the story behind it, the audience behind them, well, behind Kofi mainly, it built up a good story. It built up like you were there, you were getting jumping. And I was jumping up and down, weren't I? I was leading to TV. He was sitting back going, and I'm just literally like jumping up and down, like whatever. But the story and everything else, I just want Kofi to hold the title for a good run.
And overall, the show was a good show. Definitely not the best WrestleMania ever, but it definitely had some fantastic moments in there. It was really enjoyable, while a few moments here and there that definitely fell apart. I personally had a really good time with it. I thought it was really good. Again, few moments that definitely could have been improved on, the main event being a very weak part when it should have been the most remembered part, the most memorable part. Definitely should have been the match of the night. So I'm going to give this, we're going to do it out of 10. I'm going to give WrestleMania 35 a 7 out of 10.
But for me, with being 16 matches all in all, there are some good moments, there are some bad moments, there are some moments that could be better, there could be moments that just didn't need to be there. But for me, the main matches that I'm always going to remember, good or bad, is the main event, Kofi versus Bryan and Shane versus Miz. They're the 3 matches I'm mainly going to remember because of the story they told, but also as well the main event, the botch ending and the stumbling and things like that. I can handle that, but for me, I'm going to give it a disappointing 6.5.
So, WrestleMania 35, have you guys actually watched it? Did you enjoy it as much as we did? What did you like? What didn't you like? We're going to be doing bits like this every now and then when it comes to a main event for WWE. I'm going to be constantly joined by Kyle. Yep. We're going to talk about what we liked, what we didn't like. Do you like this idea? Are you interested in seeing more like this? I mean, either way, I think we're going to do it anyway. But
yeah, we're going to do it because we like wrestling. I've grown up, I've known it since I was like 2 years old, 3 years old. You've known it for how long?
I've known it, I don't know how old I was. I think it was WrestleMania 19 area.
But yeah, with the pay-per-views that are coming up, we've done this before. We've done this since last year, actually.
We've been watching them constantly making our predictions and trying to see who can predict more than
I think it was Royal Rumble, weren't it?
Probably.
That's the main one that I remember. We did it a couple of months beforehand, but I can't remember what pay-per-view, but Royal Rumble 2018 was the start of our thing doing this.
Us having the idea of actually thinking, oh, we could record these and talk to people out there who like wrestling just as much as we do to let them know their thoughts on it, and we can tell our thoughts on it. So again, let us know what you thought in the comment section below of this event. Did you like it? What do you think of the main event? Thank you ever so much for watching, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you want to see more videos just like this one, then subscribe to my channel for more. Thanks to Kyle for joining me. You will see him again when we come to the next main event, which is Money in the Bank. Thanks again for watching, guys. You are awesome, and I will see you all in the next video.
I fucking hated the staging.